let's talk about potential trade targets
Mm.
for
There's
the
three of them.
49ers.
There's three
Okay.
of them right
Lay 'em
now
out.
that seem to be coming to the forefront. So Daniil Hunter has always been in the mix. The Vikings are like, it seems like they're one loss away from just gutting the whole thing and going all in on getting a high pick, maybe even trading Kirk Cousins. They're a team that last year went 11-0 in one-score games. This year, they're 0-3 in those sorts of games. And they're just hanging on by a thread. Daniil Hunter's a guy that I think is going to end up on another team at some point this year, and he would be a great fit for the 49ers. So that's player number one. Player number two, a little bit of a dark horse. You mentioned him today, in that he's shown a little bit of frustration on the field. You could see that maybe he could potentially start to ask for a way out of Vegas. He's from the area.
And the
Davante
Niners
Adams.
are good. Like,
And
who
the
wouldn't
Niners
want
are
to play for
good.
the 49ers?
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
right.
it was a no-brainer.
Right.
Yeah.
So Davante Adams. And then the final one, which has picked up a lot of steam this week because of what his dad said on social media, but Patrick Surtain. So you've got three players that are high-level players at very different positions that are potential trade targets. So the question I have for you, Grant, is if the 49ers, and kind of knowing what they're worth, like Surtain is worth a first and then some, maybe even a second, first and a second. Daniil Hunter, you probably realistically could get for like a third-round pick at this stage in his career, but he's going to cost you some money as well. And then Davante Adams, maybe a second, maybe a third, maybe a couple thirds for him. I mean, I think he's aging. He's a hell of a player, but he's aging and he's expensive. So for those players, let's say it took a second and a third to get Davante, a third to get Daniil Hunter, and a first and a second to get Patrick Surtain. Which of those players would you take and why?
Yeah. Okay. That's a good question. Hold on. Patrick Surtain is 23.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's really great. If you could get Patrick Surtain,
Really
that'd be nice. He's really, really great. But he's going to be really expensive too.
He
Davante Adams, like, yeah, he's 30, but I don't think he's falling off. And you put him on this offense, like, it might be overkill because they're not really a 3 wide receiver offense.
Right.
But how could it be bad? Going Davante, I don't know.
I don't think it could be bad. I really don't.
I mean, it'd be bad.
If anything, everybody's just got to understand that you're only going to touch it a few times a game and be okay with that, I guess.
Yeah. They're not going to get Daniil Hunter.
Daniil Hunter's
just because Davante may or may not want to play for the 49ers doesn't mean the Niners can fit him in their salary structure.
For sure.
Also, there's no more room in their Cabo clique. Sorry.
It's true. I mean, when they got rid of Jimmy, he was never in it, so you can't just replace him. It's not the way it works.
Do you think they invited him and he just didn't go, or he just wasn't invited?
They probably sent him a text message and he didn't respond.
Probably.
My guess.
Have you ever Googled yourself and were shocked to see your personal information exposed on one of those public listing sites? I recently went to dinner with a friend of mine I hadn't seen since I was a kid. He said he Googled me just to see what I was up to, and he was shocked to see how much personal information he could find about me. That's why I'm really excited to tell you about today's video sponsor, Aura. Data brokers are making a fortune selling your information to robocallers, spammers, and others who want to learn more about you, like where you live. Aura can identify data brokers exposing your info and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Brokers are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to, but they make it super hard to do. Let Aura handle it for you. Aura also does so much more to protect you and your family from online threats you can't see. It's really easy to set up so you don't have to download several different apps to get things like parental controls, antivirus, VPN, password management, identity theft insurance, and more. You get everything at one affordable price. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online so you can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. You can either let people continue to exploit and profit off your private information, or you can go to aura.com to start your 2-week free trial, also linked below in the description.
Okay, so what about Daniil Hunter then? Because he's kind of the middle guy, right? He's aging a little bit as well, but he's still a very good pass rusher, especially opposite of Bosa. Would probably cost the least out of these three players. Probably a position.
He already has 5 sacks this year?
That's what I'm saying. He's good. He's very good.
Oof. All right, I'll take Daniil Hunter. I'm sold.
That's fair. That's totally
What about
fair.
Danielle Hunter? I like him. He's great. Let's get him.
Let's get him. Let's go get him. Yeah, this one's tough. I think all three would be great. Out of the three, Devontae Adams is the most luxury player because they do have plenty of weapons on offense. But Patrick Surtain at 23 years old hasn't even hit his second contract. Now, you might get in a situation a couple years where you might have to choose between him and Ayuk long term. That's a realistic thing, potentially. So long term, it may not be the best play, but if I look at this team right now and say, okay, I could add one player of those three to this team and give them the best chance to win a Super Bowl, looking at what's coming out of the AFC, the quarterbacks that are over there, Miami, which is putting up 70 points, who's going to give me the best chance? And knowing that pass rushers get held a ton in the playoffs and it doesn't get called, I need a pure lockdown corner. Patrick Surtain fits that. I would go get Patrick Surtain if he's available. I know it's a long shot, probably not going to happen, but if I have my choice of those three, that's who I would go get.
He's young. He's on his rookie contract. You could put Lenore in the slot and just be impossible to pass on.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, imagine Travarius Ward on the number 2 receivers all of a sudden. That's a nice
Also,
luxury.
I like football players that have like French names. Surtain. Like that. Surtain.
And he comes from football bloodlines. I remember watching his dad play for the Dolphins. A hell of a corner.
Dude, Patrick Surtain the first was phenomenal.
He was good. He was really good.
Yeah,
he was.
Absolutely. So sorry, Devontae. I don't think it's in the cards for you